Lamuto, Beitu Senator Tu Xiong, Tia Tu, newly appointed St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry Layalamo Hayabe Lalu Dope, Dr. Icho No Chonchu, Kusamolu Shi Hana Lamo Ocho, Do Yakwachu Sang, Tatua to Halu Tocheno. I would also like to take this time to thank the honorable guests that are joining us this morning in the audience. Tatau Tunano Ya, Patan Vatsong Va. Mr. Vatsongva is the son of the former General Veng Pao. Ili ocho to nu thiên nữ banam ga to cổng bên hu nọ to chang ga lu pa che pe kyao. Zimuto, Mr. Ning Shao Xiong, all the way from Michigan. Ilin da bên bote ocho to lo kya no to cổng to o ni o zi to pe lu pa che pe kyao xiao no. Chị ta linh đạo sư của Samolu Shi Hở Nọ cho là một ocho. To Representative Peter Fisher, thank you for joining us today. Dr. Ramsey County Commissioner Tony Carter, Nuku Tao Tua Kong Pe Nu No. Kusa Haidoi Jonetsi Kutining Cha Nature Tao Pao Peter Fisher, Yatu House District of Block Yo Pe A. Ayalin Dao I Pleasure No Mo Ya No Ya Chu Ton Zi Pe Ya La Pia Tone, Ka Pe Toling Sotu, Dakato Shinjin Hu No Pe Te Shoshia. Hai tiếng mua cho nâng trưởng kênh đã bây giờ đã bây mong tổ tế ok dì một đợt nó ya ít tu đã bây hai nâng mong nữ ya ít tuần sai mong khu ya trâu sai lọ tròn the President Joe Biden ai li ở châu cho Commissioner cái yên ya các khu tổ công tế nu nọ thế ai li đã cụ đã cả một chế cho bây atu MC.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. As I said, my name is Carrie Dietzig, and I have the honor and privilege of representing Northeast and Southeast Minneapolis. First, I want to congratulate the United Hmong Family Incorporated for this wonderful gathering of Minnesotans of Hmong ancestry. I am honored to be here with all of you. I was also recently elected the Senate Majority Leader by my DFL colleagues in the Minnesota Senate. I do not take this responsibility lightly. I look forward to working with all of you, the House, and the Governor to determine how we respond to the needs in our communities. It has been an honor getting to know the Hmong community, in particular during my time as the Senate. Your contributions and the contributions of this community to our state are undeniable. From the richness in the culture, history, and the artistry that is so on display today, to the economic and workforce contributions to our state's overall development. We at the Minnesota Senate thank you for these contributions, as you have made Minnesota a better place to live, work, and play. Today's festivities mark the Hmong New Year, a time of celebration and family, community, and connections. This year's celebration is made more significant, not only by those who are present today, but also by those who we have lost during the last 2.5 years, and those who are struggling during this time. The last few years have brought unprecedented challenges for the Hmong community, from the rise in anti-Asian hate, to businesses and generational wealth that were destroyed during the civil unrest. And of course, the loss of the many leaders within the community to the scourge of COVID. These leaders, elders, family, and friends will not be forgotten. As we will not forget the nearly 14,000 Minnesotans who lost their lives to COVID. We honor them by celebrating their legacy and looking to the future. During my tenure in the Minnesota Senate, I have learned so much from our new immigrant and refugee communities. My grandparents came from Poland, and many in my neighborhood were used to our grandparents speaking to us in other languages, in their native language. Northeast Minneapolis has its own rich history of immigrants. First, we had the Eastern European immigrants, and now it's East Africans and Ecuadorians. It has been a pleasure to learn about all of Minnesota's diverse communities. The future of our Hmong Minnesota community is bright. This year's theme for this celebration is Lighting the Torch. It is a powerful depiction of this shared belief. I look forward to working on your behalf at the Minnesota Senate and working collaboratively with leaders in the community to improve the lives of all Minnesotans. The new Minnesota Senate that will be incoming next year is the most diverse ever. Joining us this year in the Senate, we currently have Senator Fong He, and I was at his wife Anna's funeral this morning, so I send my sympathy to him and his family members. But joining Senator Fong He this year are Senator Tu Zhang and Susan Fa. And Susan is not able to join you tomorrow, and so I'm going to welcome her and say thank you to all of you. I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to working with Susan.
Thank you to Majority Leader Dzek. We so appreciate that this year she's able to join us here at the Hmong New Year. We appreciate our leaders here. And we look forward to her strong leadership in this next legislative session. Happy New Year! Nga zhong xiong chia da bei jay mong na go ya Senator-elect Susan Pa zhong xie dong ji ne cho le cho tu li a bei xiong na bei go ji mo na lu ji bei jiao na le xiong na bei da ka le xi shao le wa xiong chia ya li na zhong xie da ka dong ji ne cho le cho tu. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to say a few words. My name is Axel Henry, and I'm the new Chief of Police for the City of St. Paul. I'm here today with my spouse, Makia Griffin, who is sitting up there in the front row. So if you get a chance to talk to her, please do. I think it's interesting to note that I am the 42nd Chief of Police for the City of St. Paul, a police department that goes back all the way to 1854. The reason why I think that's particularly important today is that we are celebrating the 42nd Hmong New Year, which means that next year, this wonderful tradition will be older and outdate your chiefs of police here in the city of St. Paul. And rich history is what our city is all about. It is a real honor to be here in front of you today. Programs like the Hmong New Year and cultural events are really how we test the vitality and the health of a city. We know that our city is strong and that our community is strong when we have events like this that we can bring forth and help us demonstrate how we come together as a community. When I was asked to say a few words, I struggled with what I could really say to a group of so many important people here when I'm just basically a humble public servant. But it did remind me of a story. About 10 years ago, I was in Florida visiting family and friends, and I went out to a restaurant. And as I was standing in line waiting to be seated, there was a group of folks in front of me and some groups of folks behind me also waiting for a table. And the couple in front of me was Hmong, and they had 2 Hmong children. And as we started talking, the whole group kind of gathered around, and people were discussing where they were from. And I asked the couple, "Are you from St. Paul?" And they laughed, and they said, "No, most of our relatives are, but we actually live in California." They were then very shortly thereafter seated. And when they sat down, the couple that was behind me said, "Why would you look at someone who's Asian and assume they were from St. Paul?" And I said, "Well, you've never been to St. Paul, have you? Because the Hmong tradition in our state and our city is so strong that it's almost as identifiable as a Vikings or a Twins jersey." I think that's important to note because although we shouldn't be judging people by their appearances, the Hmong community is so interwoven to who we are now that it really is an indicator of what it means to be a person who lives in Minnesota and a person who lives in St. Paul. We are all St. Paul. We come together, and events like this are the real indication for the type of city we want to be, we aspire to be, and I believe we can be. So thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's a real honor to be here, and I hope you have a great rest of the festival. Thank you.
Nyojong, how's everybody doing today? Are we excited? I'll try to keep the speech really, really short so we can watch the pageant and hear the singers. Nyojong Xiongqia! Happy New Year! Like the MC Jota to hai tia Beisha de Yang Polemica. All of us know English. But we won't get the vote if we don't speak Hmong, right? Để xin lý chào là dòng xe trâu nụ nọ trâu bê tua nọ chia bê chào nè. Trâu lý chào là cụ họ chờ cho nịa cho chỉ cho cụ nọ cụ chữ tua thế cụ cho ở bê tù phong hiểm cả ổn thọ cụ tua. Representative Christian Bonner, nhớ đầu sa Maplewood. Representative Peter Fisher, ya tu nhớ đầu lúc giờ Maplewood. Tại vì cú họ cho nịa cho gì, bây giờ cú nọ cú chữ nè, công mà đàn nâng sao, thế công mà đàn và cái, ya đó cú tua sợi sầu nọ. Bây tua nhớ tới trường mika, nhớ tới trường vợ mình nó bây tua công, bây lúc chơi bây cháu nè, bây mong lúc chơi bây cháu. Tàn thọ bây ý trọng mong chỉ hay nhớ trong tế tử. Có lúc lì, lúc thâu là chỉ bây giờ đời yếu là xí sâu là tà dài lúc chồng chia. Có này họ chừng chênh. Nụ nó bây tuần ba chia bây cháu. Tua khí kỹ nó chia. Đó bây ý trọng mong. Bây ua tí dạng gầu lì bây cho nịa cho gì. Bỏ ua chê yếu ua chia nè. To follow the old ways. Lý cha là bây dòng xế hệ tiệt chừng chúa cho nịa cho gì. Đó bây nhỏ nó bỏ bây tua cổng kê là gì. Ô bây lúc chế bây cháu. Lý luôn tụ cú ca. Cú mua ở bây lò lù lỡ chơi của tua hài đâu. Búp đâu, phưa đâu cho lùa. Thì cú yếu hài lù ăn ký. Gọi cho lùa họ tao thế. Gọi là họ mua khòn chơi hay tiệt lợi yếu là. Ô cho đâu lợi giá tận đây. Rồi họ xong nó ra đàn hình. Bây giờ kia trông đi tới bao hệ thì bây mong Minnesota. Bây giờ đến hình hiện ra chi. Chỉ xong nó có tìm là bây giờ đến hình bây giờ kia trông số linh số tù. Hay tiệt cho nịa cho gì, cho lào cho cú nọ cú chứ. Lưu mất tù trầu, bú trầu bây cho lùa nè. Có bây yên mình tờ, yên mình khí cho kế và mình trầu bây ý trọng mong. Có bây dhìa lúc nên và hùa xí luật lúc nên có và mình trầu bây mong. Còn nói ra trâu cho lùa, có biết cho lùa, sợ là tùa, là ô tụ cho nó. And so, trâu cho nịa cho gì, lý, cho cú nọ cú chữ nè, lời trong nó, bây tàu tùa xí sầu, tàu cá ổ xong ở mua, cá mô COVID-19. Bây cho cú nọ cú chữ, tàu cho bây trên tàu tù hình. Còn nói ý khó, ô đó cú tù xe. Tại vì bây chừng chúa tụ tư là bây yên mình. Chờ là đó bây nhỏ là đó bây bỏ là chừng ua bây nịa bây gì. Tại vì lý có mà nâng sau tàu hay đó của ý rào. Thầu bây chừng nhục có bí ua càng mường. Nửa tìa cho bây mong cho lào lực tàu hay chê hay tìa. Yếu chủ mua son thề. Ôn đây nà thế lý yếu bao lọ nè. Nà lò dư cho công lòng cho chia cho lê cho gì cho chia nhóm địa tên nó thế là bao muốn nó cho chú nó thế là dù tàu cho chia bây tin hình địa tên thế là mua xe nhỏ chỉ cho nè cho gì mua lời dù trong lý yếu lâu chỉ mua son thề cả bây giờ sợ ổn định nữa chỗ này cho ổn định ổn gì nè kia tàu lý trả là bây giờ cỡ linh tờ yếu khờ mù tàu lúc nâng giá bể số nữa. And so for all the youth, the Hmong New Year is important for our Hmong people. Every year after 12 months, we will come together to send away the old year and welcome the new year. We welcome the New Year's this year as in the old ways of our ancestors, to honor their memory and their sacrifices. And we are happy to celebrate the New Year here at the River Center. And I heard some friends from France, some Hmong people from France, before their plane landed earlier this week, they took a picture of the lights of the Twin Cities, and they wrote in their caption, Hmong headquarters of the world. Are we proud of St. Paul and the Twin Cities? This is going to be the headquarters for our Hmong world. And as you walk through the halls, hear and open your eyes and ears, either up here or in the auditorium, you will hear the lessons beating and singing out to you. As you hear the sound, see the movies, you hear the music that are going on, the people, you hear the chants of the New Year soul calling, or hear the Hmong names. At times they may seem of little profit to you, But I tell you that at times when faced with some of the biggest challenges, the stories associated with these Hmong treasures might serve as inspiration and guides for you. The lessons and warnings litter the meanings of our Hmong songs, our Hmong merchandise, the stories that you will see up here in this stage. They are the stories of our Hmong parents and our ancestors, the struggles that they've gone through to bring us here. And they call upon us to lead for the future generations. And with that, I know you all carry a deep burden for many of the Hmong youth, and I encourage you to learn about our history. Don't let anybody downplay our history. We were Hmong people from deep in the mountains, excluded from the world, and we were forced onto the world stage because of war. And we lost our home, we lost our country, we had to rebuild a new home. But our parents, they succeeded and brought us here, and now we are a successful community. And so, for all our youth, I'll try to keep it short. Please enjoy the new year. I hope you all return tomorrow to laugh, play, and love again. You all have a bright future. You all have the burning desire to help our Hmong community. I know that. And so let it be shown. Spread your wings. Your time to shine is now. Light the torch. You will succeed as we welcome 2023 New Year. The blood of the 18 clan runs in all of you. The spirits of our Hmong warriors are on your shoulders. The food your Hmong mothers fed you have given you strength. And you will be movers and shakers. Happy Hmong New Year. Thank you.